Let's take a look at Binance Coin from this week's article on Brave New Coin. So Binance is an exchange, multinational. They have futures, they have margin, they have options soon. They're a very popular retail platform across the globe. They initially issued a coin on Ethereum as an ERC20, and then they migrated that coin to a native chain, which they now maintain. The coin itself is used as a true utility token for various aspects of the exchange, including exchange fee reduction, and is a required currency for projects to purchase when being added to the BNB chain. One other key aspect of the token is that it is burned quarterly. This was originally a repurchasing plan based on 20% of the profits, but that changed to a burn based on trading volume. So Binance will do whatever is in their best interest based on their products available. That is their right to do so. Obviously, it's their company. The bottom line for me as a trader is if markets on crypto in general are active, the BNB token should see more use because it has more utility as more people are trading on any exchange, particularly Binance. So to see the burns increase, burn over burn over burn, quarter over quarter, percentage of the supply, this is headed in the right direction as far as is this bullish or bearish. Obviously, if we burn supply on anything, it's bullish. If the burns are increasing, it's bullish. So you can't deny that. And I think that's the intended effect in general for the token burn. Looking at the price versus the active address growth, you can see in general, active addresses have been flat since August last year. And it's really hard for me to say, I don't know what happens on the exchange itself of Binance. So for example, if I'm a trader and I'm using the token and my address is changing, or my ledger value of BNB is changing on the exchange, I don't believe this adds to the active addresses metric because it's off chain technically. It's on the ledger of the exchange. So what you'd have to look at as well is trading volume. You can't just look at normal on-chain stuff for BNB because most of it I think happens on the exchange ledger side versus the chain side. One thing this will show though is if new people are moving it around or if new people are buying it and putting it into cold storage, that sort of thing. And you can see in general it's been flat. Prices sort of moved up or down, irrelevant depending on active addresses. So I don't see any correlation there, just eyeballing it. And then looking at the transaction count has increased, but has sort of again remained flat since August last year. It will have peaks and troughs. One thing no one really knows that I haven't really seen anywhere is how Binance accumulates the BNB itself. If they buy on the open market, which is what probably the least likely thing they do, they probably accumulate it over the quarter somehow based on trading volume and fees and whatnot, and then don't resell it. That'd be my guess, like into the open market. But I don't really know. I don't think anybody really knows. And look at the network fees on the chain. You can see they've dropped off to nothing, which is fine, I think, for this specific chain. But in general, the chain is centralized at the moment. I think they said they're working to become decentralized. Who knows if that'll ever happen? I don't think that really matters because you know what you're getting yourself into, right? When you buy the BNB token, you know what it's for, you know who's using it, you know what's happening with the burn. So there's really no mystery here as far as the centralization aspect is concerned. And one other thing I'll mention about the token is year over year, the fee reduction on the trading side using BNB continues to decrease. So by the fifth year, there'll be no discount using BNB. So it'll be interesting to see if BNB is worth anything anymore, or if anybody finds it of value. If anything, it might move to like an equity of the exchange itself or a security, which is a whole other ball of wax. Just them burning it regularly probably qualifies it as such. But if, as a trader, I have no reason to hold BNB for a fee reduction, I'm essentially just trading it based on the success of Binance or using it natively on the chain. All right, let's look at some TA. Now, in general, across the board, every single altcoin has rocketed up over the past few months, way past the 200 super quickly. Now everything has come back to the 200 moving average. That's this red line here. And now's the real test. Because in any given trend, you're going to see, in general, first you break the 200, then you have your golden cross. And then throughout the trend, if it's a real trend, if it has strength, if it has momentum, it's going to continue to test support. It'll either test high time frame support or it'll test low time frame support. Testing the 50 is considered low time frame support. Testing the 200 would be considered high time frame support, or in this case, resistance. So currently it's on high time frame support. The question is what happens here. There's plenty of volume support between 8 and 11, 13 and 15. So I don't really think this is, if this makes lower lows, it's not going to stay there long. And if it does, it's going to get bought up very quickly, I think, based on this volume profile. Looking at the cloud, everything is bullish. You want it above the cloud to be green, bullish TK cross. If you're bearish, you want it below the cloud, and opposite of what I just said, bearish TK cross, this red above blue line here, very similar to EMAs. Blue above red, bullish. This is a beautiful textbook trend that you'd want to see. Thin cloud. As cloud gets thicker, that suggests prices moving up or moving down very quickly for this time frame. You don't want to see that. You just want a comfortable rise, day over day over day, week over week. Not really seeing that yet here. Very violent, very abrupt. On the trend hates that. It's going to mess with the cloud. The cloud's going to flip bearish. The TK cross is going to flip bearish. If this goes sideways, it's got to have another abrupt up move to break the local high, to basically reset these cloud settings again, or go sideways for an extended period of time. Now, if it moves below the cloud, then it's ranging, and trend metrics don't do well when we're ranging. Again, what you want to see is this or this. Even going above and then back down is another bearish signal. So if we go in the cloud and then back above the cloud, that's another bullish signal. And lastly, looking at the BNB BTC chart, very similar to the USD chart. It had this beautiful textbook trend, high time frame support tests early last year. And again, it's the opposite of that right now. Abrupt up down, this inverted V. What you want to see is slow rise, continued rise. It's like you got to either stay above the cloud and go sideways, or dip into the cloud and come back above the cloud, break this local high around 0027. So the trend is bullish. It's hard to say that it's strong because it's not confirmed yet. Another thing to watch is this golden cross on the 50 and the 200, the red and the green here. It's about to cross over the next few days. Again, similar to the USD chart, the VPVR is extremely strong at 1500 or 15,000 sats, or 0015. TradingView keeps messing with my digits here on the side. It's hard to tell if it's sats or if it's missing a zero. And then lastly, on the oscillator end, there's no bullish or bearish divergences here. It's setting up for a nice tweezer bottom, meaning if this doesn't break the low and this holds, should be good for more up, and remotely would be an inverted head and shoulders, super messy diagonal neckline here. Not something I'm expecting. This may morph into some sort of high time frame, expanding megaphone type deal, but overall, trend likes it for up throughout the next couple months.